Hotep Kush. I know you cannot see me, but you see my lovely assistant Soraya. And we are outside right now because we wanted to do an investigation for science today. All right, Soraya, take your hands out. In science, we're talking about our environment, which is where we live, and we're talking about how things can change our environment, and we're going to look at a flood. So we're doing this investigation outside so that we don't flood our inside classroom. And I have set up a little environment. I have sand. I have 2 Lego people. And I have some leaves that are representing some trees in my environment. And so what we're going to do, I also want to show you that I've put actually a oven mitt under the one side so that the one side is a little higher up than the other side. So now, if we have our people and our plants and our environment, and then we have a storm that comes, and our storm brings lots of water. Oh no. Oh, look at this. Oh, Spider-Man fell over. Leave it. And I have a flood happening here. And what's happening is my people are falling over. They're getting stuck in the water. My trees are falling. I see some of the trees have stood up. They've kind of lasted. And the ones over here have kind of fallen over. They were actually closer to where the water was. Now, see how we also have puddles? And we see that sometimes when it rains outside, we see puddles. Now, the water is sitting right here. And we have some sitting here. We have a little bit up here. Now, up here, we don't have any puddles, but we can see that the sand has actually moved away from, can you stop? Stop. The sand has actually moved away from the edge of the pot. And that is part of what we call erosion, where it wears away due to rain or wind. So the sand is actually washing down. So if we were talking about where we were in an area that had a lot of hills or we had mountains, we may see soil or snow washing down the mountain. And it's washing down because of gravity and because the rain or the wind is pushing it. So when we have a flood, it can wear away and take away some of the sand that we had up here. And that could be somewhere people had homes. And Kush Anderson, we watched videos of where the ocean had washed away the rocks underneath people's homes and their homes started to fall. So this is actually what could happen, that if we had floods where we had more and more water and it's just washing away the land, and then we could have all the soil and the rocks that were here might be washed down here, and that could actually cause a problem for the people who live at the bottom of the mountain or where it's not so hilly, because those rocks and that dirt could then build up on top of where they live in their homes. So we have this plant here now has sand on top of it. So that's going to be a little bit more difficult for that flower or that plant to get sunlight. And it may die because it's completely covered in water. And although plants do need water, if we have too much, they can actually die because it's too much water and then they can't breathe. And down here we have like a pile, we have a puddle of water. And if this were to stay and this was where someone lived, it could start to smell. It could attract bugs. So all of these things can be affected if we have a flood or if we have a lot of water. So we see that this washed away up here. Our trees were washed down. Some of our people were washed down. And then down here, we have a tree that survived, but it has a lot of water, which could actually harm it if that water stays. And then all of this could, if it washed down, if it kept, and we kept having a flood, that could all just keep See, now we have a spot here where the water was and it washed away, and it's building over here. And that sand and that soil, the rocks, they could all build on top of the plants, the animals, or the homes of the people who live in this environment near the bottom of our hill or a mountain. So we can see that floods can destroy and change our environment. Now, water is good for our plants. They do need it, but a flood means we have a lot of water. Pretty much we have too much water, and that's when it can be harmful. So we can see where the sand was. We see the ring at the top, and the water, the flooding water, has actually washed it and pushed it down. And now we have too much, and we have a pile down at the bottom. And that could cause a lot of problems for the people in that environment who are at the bottom. All right, good job, good job. Now we're going to get into our science books. Good job, guys.